There's just one place to enjoy your Acura Summer of Performance event, Acura of Pembroke Pines. So hit the road in the new RDX, $419 a month. Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink, be the maestro of your own home.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff, formerly of Welton Rayone, PA, a longtime sponsor of the Big O Show. Now that Dan retired, I opened Welton Associates. I started this firm with a simple belief. When you hire a lawyer, you should be able to talk to your lawyer. For nearly 30 years, I have helped Floridians through serious legal problems. At my firm, you get direct access to me, clear communication, and a lawyer who knows the details of your case. I believe technology should make legal representation easier, not more impersonal. At Welton Associates, you get direct access to me, clear answers, personal attention, and real advocacy. Look us up at weltlawfirm.com or give me a call at 954-966-4646. Consultations are always free, and let me know that you found me at the Big O Show.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Come on in to Toyota of Hollywood, where curiosity and extraordinary deals await you. Your golden ticket buys a 2025 Corolla, not $26,000, $17,988. And we've got sweet deals with 0% financing for 72 months, 0 down. Enter our world of wonder, and we'll show you why we're the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome aboard. Time to have some fun and rock and roll on the show on a beautiful Wednesday. It is Hump Day, July 22nd, 2026. Getting closer and closer and closer to the pigskin. Yeah. Well, we just saw The Fix this weekend twice. Getting closer. It's actually a really good song of theirs. Anyway, you got to be a hardcore Fix fan to know Closer. Everybody knows one thing leads to another, and Red Skies at Night, and all those that stand or fall. The normal stuff. If you're a hardcore Fix fan, then you know Closer, and we are getting closer to the NFL season, and some pads and some boys hitting and all kinds of good stuff. So can't wait for that, at least for meaningful stuff. By the way, the Canes also at the end of the month will be reporting too. That's also good stuff because we got a little more focus this year on the Canes, and we'll have a little fun with that. So looking forward to that. Anyway, appreciate all of you out there, as always, tuning in on Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026, day number 19,183 since the Miami Dolphins were world champions, day number 8,966 since the Canes were national champions, and day number 4,779 since the Miami Heat won the title. All right. We'll reset one of those clocks. I'm pretty sure it'll be the Canes this year. I'm going to put some faith that Mario will keep the game day stuff straight this year and outperform everybody every week. Let's hope. Let's hope. All right. What do we got going on? Well, why don't we do this? Let's start off the morning with our 3A Graphics sports calendar. And we started off with the Miami Dolphins. They signed Jordan Brooks to a 3-year contract extension worth $51.3 million. The key number is 35 million of it is guaranteed. Also, they place wide receiver Chris Bell on the active non-football injury list. We'll talk a little bit more about that here on the show and enlighten you a little bit more on that. Tonight, MLS action at New Stadium. Inter Miami will be hosting Chicago. But in this game, no Messi, no Rodrigo de Paul. Tadeo Allende is out with a right knee injury. David Ayala has a left abductor strain. Falcon is out with a right calf injury, although do you really miss him? Not really. Gonzalo with a right calf injury. They also have a game on Saturday at Montreal. FIFA has suggested 21 days of rest for all players fresh off the World Cup. So I don't know if Messi will take the full 3 weeks, and we'll find out if him and DePaul take the 3 weeks. I don't know. It is very understandable if he takes a few weeks because they played a lot of extra time there. The MLS All-Star Game will not have Messi. It is July 29th in Charlotte. Messi and DePaul are out. They will not be a part of the All-Star festivities. Also, Victor Wembanyama has been named the NBA 2K27 cover athlete for all of you gamers out there. That's what's also going on in the world of sports. And Caitlin Clark has also told the WNBA to go kick rocks. She will not take part in the three-point contest. Oh, baby, that league is petty. And when women are, screwed over, they will take out the fangs and the nails. And boy, the cat fights are all over in the WNBA. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. And if you're looking for custom printing and embroidery, Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443 for custom printing and embroidery, shirts, hats, uniforms, whatever it is you need, wherever you live, wherever your business is, anywhere in the country. You do all of that by Zoom anyways. It's not like you're driving into the warehouse. No, you just pick up the phone, you talk to the owner right away, tell them exactly what you want, uniform, shirts, hats. They send you the examples, you approve it, boom, they print it and ship it to you right away. 786-618-1443. All righty. Good stuff as always. Thank you all out there. Hit that like button. That's a great way of supporting the show. Can't wait for football already to start. Remember, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And we appreciate it as always. The amazing Ocala Joe. Thank you, sir, for the love on Cash App. He says, may the force be with you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. And I appreciate the support there. Thank you out there. Cash App or Venmo. Send in your questions, comments, or, of course, compliments like Ocala Joe did there. Speaking of Bitcoin, by the way, since we were talking about it, Bitcoin is, again, screwing around 66 at 65,917. So it didn't really hit 67 yesterday. I thought maybe it would do it, especially off the air, because that's what it does to me. But we'll see. As for the markets, amazing stuff. I got to tell you, dude, I'm so impressed with the markets. Impressed, and then at the same time, very concerned, but that's a whole different ball game. The Dow is up 230 points. The S&P is up about 3/4 of a point, and the NASDAQ is up just over a point. SpaceX is barely down half a point right now at $123 overall. Playing the market, awesome. It has worked out really, really well. I just wonder when the fuse is going to kind of end. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget, use our code BIG-O10. You will get 10% off at Caneswear, online or in person, and also online if you order over $99. You will get free shipping. So check it out there at caneswear.com or in person and tell them that we sent you. Okay. Good people over there. What else? Oscar Rojas, I see, number 1. Thank you, sir, out there in Melbourne. Jeff in Long Island out there. Jamie Zoria in San Jose. New GM Combor staying true to what they preached. Yeah, I mean, signing those guys, they aren't crazy contracts. You don't really have anybody under contract. You only you got a real cap hell this year. All this stuff is money in the future. So yeah, it's not a big deal, and it's important to have a couple of players that are going to be anchors for you and good examples. And those are all good examples that they kept around, which is just common sense. It just made sense. It's smart moves. And I'm glad they got it done before camp, so that way we don't have to talk about, the contract issue for a guy that doesn't deserve to go through contract hell. He's actually paid his dues. He's been a leader. He does everything that you say. He's impressed the prior regime and the current regime, and that's all you need to know as a human being. So just pay the guy. It's not like it's going to break you or anything like that. Move on. You need him anyways. Nyborg is in. I see. Kosa out there. Big Johnson. Let's hope Jordan Brooks can be a part of something good with this team down the road. Well, at least the first couple of years it's going to be a rebuilding process. In years 3 and 4 of his deal, that's where you hope that the Dolphins start to turn a corner. You know what I'm saying? If they've made the right decisions in year 1 and 2. We don't know if they've done that because we haven't gone through years 1 and 2. But you would expect that in years 3 and 4 of all these deals, that's where the Dolphins, if they did the right things, are starting to turn the corner. Pipe Man Slim says Bitcoin needs a bigger dip. It could happen, Pipe Man Slim. The war continues. It's not going anywhere. Iran is going to stretch this thing out and milk it, so it could create more. It will create more economic problems for us. Not could. What are we kidding here? You're playing with you're dealing with psychos, and then we're dealing with people at the top that have no plan whatsoever. So there could be another dip in Bitcoin. There could be also, it could go this way too. Okay, let me explain something that could also happen. A few years back, when we went from 16 to 67,000. No, I'm sorry, we went from 8,000 to a quick jump to 20 and then to 67. And then we went down to 16. That's how it was. When we went to 67, at that moment, there were concerns that we were going into a recession. And then because of the whole pandemic and everything else going on, and so people then hid their money in Bitcoin, and it went to catastrophic heights that had never gone to, right? And that's kind of what it's made for, to weather storms, financial storms, and all of that because of its stability overall. Everybody looks at the volatility, but they don't really actually look at the overall stability of it compared to everything else that just habitually goes down. So we went to 67, but then what happened? Biden and the boys started printing even more money and giving out relief and all that, and all those what were those checks called? They were whatever the name of those stupid checks were called, that they dumped it into our accounts a couple of times. And so all that stuff and ended up easing things, and so people then kind of pulled out. So I think what's going to end up happening, at that time, it was all retail money that was in. Very little to no institutional money, corporate money, country money, the stuff that's in there now. The stuff that's now more foundational of Bitcoin than ever, which is institutional money, corporate money, country money, all these things, all these reserves that are all scooping it all up, while a lot of people in retail, like you and me, Pipe Man Slim, we're the minority, dude. We're like the smartest people in the damn room, like by miles. It's not even close. Sorry if that sounds a little weird to you guys out there, but we are. Us Bitcoiners are way smarter than those of you that aren't Bitcoiners. You will find out eventually the mistake you've made, but that's all right. It's all good in the hood. At least I know that on this show, I did the right thing, and that's all I care. All I care about is being on the right side. I don't care about the ramifications of it or what people think or what criticisms or compliments or anything like that. I only care about being on the right side. That's all I care about. And what could end up happening is we could be headed for another recession. And if it does happen, if this takes a turn for the worst and the whole Houthis thing and all that kind of stuff, it's just, and it's not like it's going to end because Russia and China are helping Iran, dude. Do you not think that Russia is helping Iran with some weapons and stuff? The Caspian Sea connects Iran and Russia, and the U.S. can't do shit about that. Russians control the Caspian Sea. You got 5 different countries that are in that Caspian Sea, and Russia and Iran, and it's right next to Tehran. And you think Russia's not helping them? Come on, dude. I mean, Russia and China want to extend the war to play it on. Just like, it's funny because Europe is doing that to Russia with Ukraine, making them spend resources. And then Ukraine obviously has had so much success going into Russia, deep into Russia, and destroying all kinds of energy resources, which is now setting them economically back. You know what I mean? So Russia and China are doing the same thing to us by helping Iran. So if this thing does extend and it gets worse, and economically and gas prices start to climb again and all that kind of stuff, and our oil reserves are at the lowest they've been since 1983. So things are really, really bad. And if that continues, and there's no reason to think that it's going to end, if we do head for a recession, this whole long story that I just gave you, then I believe a repeat is going to happen. But we're not going to 67 because we're already there. We're probably going to go somewhere to 200,000 this time around, because the institutional money is in, the corporate money is in, the country money is in, and there's a process right now where they're dumping the US dollar all over the world right now. And the bond markets are exploding because people don't want to buy our debt. And go look at the bond prices. They're going higher and higher and higher. This is creating a lot of problems for us. So yes, and this will create a lot of problems for all of us, credit card wise, anything that you have on financing and all that kind of stuff. And especially if it can fluctuate, it's going to go to the upside and it's going to be pretty bad, like credit cards. So if we do head to a recession, Pipe Man Slim, watch Bitcoin explode to just astronomical numbers. Prepárate, as they say. Hey, not financial advice. I don't know anything about the bond market. I don't know anything about the stock market. I don't know anything about Bitcoin. I don't know anything about the war. I don't know anything about sports. I don't know anything about music. I don't know anything about anything, dude. So remember that. Never advice, nothing whatsoever. Don't know anything. But I'm taking guesses is what I'm doing. So that's my guess, Pipe Man Slim. Lenny Pena, you're in the house. I'm so glad the Dolphins re-signed Brooks. So far, Sully has done a great job. The Malik signing is still a bit questionable, but we'll see how that turns out, right? I mean, if the kid's a player, then it was great vision. If it's not, you tried, you missed, but it will be kind of a strike on you. A little bit of a strike on you. No, actually, it's not a little bit. It's a huge strike. I forgot about that. He was with you. If you swing and miss on a guy that was with you, then yeah, you did pretty bad. Actually, now that I think about it that way, yeah, you did a shit job because he was with you. So you fell for the banana in the tailpipe. Let's see, True Fin fan. Let's get this farting show started. Let's get it farted. Let's get it farted in here. Let's get it farted. There you go. Okay. Anthony Kyle Campos in. What else? Gus 1380 stimulus checks. That's it, Gus. Thank you, sir. That's it. Stimulus. Debt checks. Add more debt to our situation. We have screwed our kids so badly, bro. I feel so terrible for my daughter. And all of you that are parents, you should feel really shitty for our kids. Really shitty. What we've done to them is criminal, bro. Brian Landis in Rosendo. Yeah, tariffs are a cancer. That's a tax on us. We're the ones that pay it. You know what I mean? That's just, what are you going to do, dude? All that stuff has just been very torturous for us. What can I say? All right. Good news on the Dolphins front. Jordan Brooks signs his 3-year, $51.3 million extension, $35 million guaranteed, which is basically what you want to look at. So he's got this contract guaranteed this last year, and then he's got $35 million over the next 3 years after that, guaranteed. Not a big deal. It's not a crippling contract. He's a quality individual, a quality player, a leader. The only thing that can make this deal bad, you all know what it is. It's one thing only, and it can ruin any contract, and it's called an injury. And that's it. Outside of that, this is a super fantastic, perfect contract by the Miami Dolphins. This is a player you want. This is a foundational player that you need. So all of it just makes all the sense in the world. And there's no reason to start off your tenure for Sully and Half with controversies. No, dude, this is your first year. You want to have your shit straight. You want to go in with a plan. You want to go in sending the right messages. And the right messages are that Jordan Brooks, that Achan, you know, that what's it called? Aaron Brewer. They all get their contracts. They're leaders, and you move on. These are building blocks for you. And none of these contracts are crippling contracts. You're not signing an old guy to a deal that he can't live up to. No, Jordan Brooks can easily be productive in the next 3 to 4 years for this contract. Aaron Brewer easily would be productive. And Devon Achan is another one that he is more than young enough to live out the contract that he currently signed. So these are all very smart deals. It sends a great message. You now are going into the season with the message that you sent, the message that you've delivered. You've made your promises. You've kept them. Now you can move on. Nothing wrong with what's going on there for the Miami Dolphins. This is the way you want to start off your first year, your first season, to make sure that everything is positive in the way that you have phrased it. Okay? Because you're not coming off like a bad year and trying to correct stuff. And then there's a lot of questions. No, you're coming in with a fresh start. And you don't want a fresh start. That's why we've talked about, in the last couple of weeks, whether we're talking about Stephon Diggs or any questionable character, you don't want anything to do with that. This is your first year. You want things to be done professional and to be done the right way. You just don't want a whole bunch of controversies or any kind of controversy. Give you an example. Le'Veon Moss. That's a guy that the Miami Dolphins signed post-draft. Well, Le'Veon Moss was arrested. Remember, Le'Veon Moss was gone from the team, and we were wondering, like, what the hell is going on? This is a guy that you haven't even started the season yet, and he's gone already. It was like a really weird thing. So here's the story with Le'Veon Moss, and maybe this is a guy that they took a chance on, but they saw that there were some issues, and maybe they had to part ways. Who knows? But it says former Texas A&M Aggies running back Le'Veon Moss was arrested Monday in his hometown of Baton Rouge, Louisiana on Monday due to cruelty to a juvenile. Moss' 2-year-old son accidentally shot himself after gaining possession of a gun that Moss kept underneath his pillow. Moss was sleeping when the gun went off before rushing his son to Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital, which is approximately 15-minute drive from where the incident occurred in Moss's apartment. Per WRBZ's report, the official affidavit read that due to Moss's negligence, the child under the age of 17 suffered unjustifiable pain. Moss played at nearby Isamra High School in Baton Rouge. All right, I don't care. They always put the stat stuff and all that kind of stuff. Let's see what else here, and that's it. That's no more on the story. Tragic, terrible story that a child has to go through this. His irresponsibility, obviously, which if you have guns, please lock them. I mean, I don't know, especially if you have a child like that around. How do you think that putting it under your pillow is something that is the right thing to do? But clearly, Le'Veon Moss had issues, and they parted ways with him early on. Maybe they saw something. I don't know. I don't have enough information. But now you see this incident. I hope the child somehow or another recovers from all of this. There's no reason that child should go through any kind of suffering whatsoever. But these are the things that you want to stay away from. You want to stay away from questionable people. You want to stay away from questionable situations. You want to stay away from controversies. You want to stay away from distractions. And Sully and Half have done a beautiful job of avoiding pretty much overall the distractions, even with Tua Tagovailoa. I thought the situation was handled absolutely perfect. There wasn't a lot of controversy. There wasn't a lot of back and forth. There wasn't any grievances or anything like that. They accepted the situation that they were in with Tua, and they made the decision they thought was best for them to break free and start clean, have no controversies, because if you keep Tua around, you have a cloud over you. And now the cloud that was part of the other regime has now shifted over like a big old cumulonimbus cloud that covers 3 states. So now it's covering the prior state and the current state of your team. They said no cumulonimbus cloud. Let's push that to a cloud to Georgia. So let it float around Georgia. And then look at the Le'Veon Moss one. No, they're not signing Stephon Diggs. They're kind of sending a message here on the way they want to do things, and you really can't complain. Now let's see if they can finally do what you and I have been waiting for decades. Build a team, create a culture, win, find a quarterback, find a general manager, find a head coach, all the things that you need in order to succeed. So good shit yesterday with Jordan Brooks and other things throughout the offseason as they start new, fresh, and free of controversy. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can send in your questions, comments, insults. We appreciate that. Hit the like button as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Miami Heat, I guess, made a mistake yesterday, or they gave something away, or what? I'm going to go with, I think it was Anthony Chang. I forgot. I think it was Anthony Chang, the beat guy, that put it out there that the Heat, and this was not them telling you that they were signing LeBron. This is not them planning ahead. There's no way LeBron's going to tell them way ahead that they're going to sign. This is an organization, and especially the media side of it and social media side of it, they were preparing themselves for the possibility, and they put out a date on there just so they can adjust that date. I know how it goes, so I understand that stuff. Writers write stories about old players or old coaches, and they have a whole bio ready to go about when they pass away, boom, or in the middle of a game, they're writing about how they're winning because they're up by 25 and all that. And then they storm back. They have to rewrite the story right there. They have most of the story written before the game ends. And then they have to kind of rewrite it if it all gets rewritten on the court, on the field, on the pitch, whatever it is, on the ice. This is all, they all plan ahead, dude. They all do this stuff. And this was overzealous. And somebody, unfortunately, they must have had a preset date, and they probably forgot to change it for it to, be broadcasted. And somebody screwed up, and they put it out there instead of, they were already getting prepared just in case they get the heads up. They have to make a quick turnaround. They're not giving anything away. If anything, LeBron will be pissed about this, will be bothered by it. It won't change his decision. If he's coming to Miami, he's coming to Miami. It has nothing to do with this. If he's going to Cleveland, he's going to Cleveland. It has nothing to do with this. If he's going to Philly, he's going to Philly. It has nothing to do with this. I feel bad for the person in the Miami Heat organization because they're going to get their asses reamed. I don't think they'll fire him because of that. But that person obviously is not feeling good. They're a human being. They make mistakes. It happens, dude. But it's the Heat wasn't, they don't know anything, and they weren't giving anything away. And especially the Heat, out of all organizations, they don't talk. So you can tell this is just a normal human being that unfortunately was trying to be a well-prepared employee and had the stuff pre-prepared just in case it happens. And bless them, unfortunately they screwed up. We're all human beings. But I don't think it has anything to do with LeBron really coming here at all. I just think it's doing what you normally should do in that situation. Okay, we're in the mix. Okay, let me prepare just in case this happens. All I have to do is just change the dates, times, or whatever, and maybe a thing or two, but I've got everything already. I've got the template set. That's it. Ira, Anthony, Tim Reynolds, they all have stories written about LeBron coming to Miami, about LeBron not choosing Miami. They have both stories written. They have the templates written already. If you ask any of them, they'll tell you honestly, yeah, I've already got my story written. Ira probably already has a retirement story of Riley that he constantly updates. So does Anthony. So does Tim Reynolds. So the day that Pat Riley steps down or whatever, because he's in his 80s, you have it. You know what I'm saying? The Herald already has something on Stephen Ross, dude. God forbid, I don't want to do it. I'm not wishing it on anybody, but if the dude passes away, they've got a bio and everything set for him. And then they just will add whatever last second stuff that happens that they know to then complete the story. All that stuff is pre-planned. They have to do it that way. And that's all that happened yesterday. A human being made a mistake and exposed the fact that they're well prepared. A good employee, unfortunately, made a mistake. That's what it is. A good and well-prepared employee, like most of the employees that exist at the Miami Heat organization, because they are the best to deal with. At least for me, that I've been at it for 36 years, okay? And I've dealt with all the media organizations here in town. I've dealt with all the teams. The Miami Heat are heads and shoulders as an organization above and beyond everyone in town. I can tell you that. Sorry if others take, a little insult to it, but I don't really give a shit. That's not really something that I've ever worried about. I don't worry about people's feelings. I tell you the truth about what goes on with our teams. It's not a better organization top to bottom than the Miami Heat. Does not exist in South Florida. They may not be the best right now making sports decisions, and I'll be the first one to tell you there's some major screw-ups right now going on in the last 12 years. It's pretty embarrassing, the shit that they've done the last 12 years. It's really not Heat standards on the basketball side. But when I talk about their media relations staff, when I talk about their employees, when I talk about top to bottom from Riley all the way down, class, dude. 100%. Best organization in town to deal with. Great employees, top to bottom. I compartmentalize. I will talk about the basketball side. It's different than what I'm talking about right now, So anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. They just made a mistake, dude. Shit happens. I feel bad for the employee that made the mistake. Now, as for the LeBron stuff, just to kind of go off of it a little bit, here's the latest on, and this is what didn't I tell you this a couple of days ago on Monday, that Polymarket and Kalshi, when they had the Heat fresh off of the Giannis press conference and Riley, we got to land another plane and all that bullshit. Oh, the Heat have soared to be the favorites when there has been nothing. There's no proof, nothing to show that Miami has some kind of lead, because only LeBron knows, dude. And Rich Paul said yesterday that they're not in a hurry and all that stuff. And so, check it out. The odds for LeBron to join the Cleveland Cavaliers now are climbing in Polymarket. So they played with the Heat's fan emotions, and now they're going to play with Cleveland's fans' emotions, so they can get your money. Because as Brett Dodger, is he there? Is he there somewhere? As Brett Dodger and I constantly go back and forth and have some fun, and we talk about investors, because those that don't know how to invest, they invest in momentum, in buzz, which that's when you're at the highest price. So usually bad investors, they buy high. Bad investors, they sell low. And that's why they lose money on both ends. And this is what they're doing now. So they played on the Heat fans' emotion. Now they'll play on the Cavs. And so they'll try to sucker people that follow Miami for some money, because the buzz is coming. You'll put it in. Now the buzz goes to Cleveland. Now the Cleveland fan will put it in. And that's what they do. This is how they do it. This is how they play with your emotion. It's so unfair, dude. But again, you know what I'm saying? What can I tell you? All right. What else do we have here? Let's see. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Appreciate you all out there as always. Bitcoin 65,652 right now. And the Dow is now down to 65 points. Still in the green, but not as much as it was before. The S&P is down 11 points now. The NASDAQ is up about a point. SpaceX is down about a point to 122. Let's go into the teens and let's get down to under 100. That will happen soon. Big O hit me with a blind ass fan if you want Dolphins over 5.5 wins this season. Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Blind ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind ass fan coming through.
They'll struggle to win 2 to 3 games. To get to 3 will be one hell of a feat. 1 or 2 will be, I think, is what I'm expecting. I would not be surprised if they stick with 1 or 2 wins. This is going to be a really bad football team. But it's all right. I get it. I understand that fans, like last year, they didn't want to believe it was going to be a bad year. But it happens. And I understand that people have a hard time believing the truth. So they like to lie to themselves to feel better. And that's kind of the way it goes, unfortunately. Lenny says, I personally think people are making too much out of that supposed leak from the Heat media about LeBron press conference with the Heat. Doesn't mean anything to me. It's clickbait. It doesn't mean anything because, Lenny, it's just a human being that works for the Miami Heat that made an honest mistake. They're a good, well-prepared employee that unfortunately made a human error and overlooked something, and it got exposed. That's it. But they were preparing just in case if the man decides to come here. And I don't have a problem with that at all. I totally understand this business, and I get it. So I'm good with it. Big O, a young David Furones comes out at LeBron's decision. He's jumping up. I think the place looks like an alehouse. I don't know what that means. Was Furones celebrating on the last one? Is that what you're saying? Oh, let's see. Good morning, Orlando. Jay Bird in the house. Feeling incredible as I leave my chiropractor's office. Good for you. Reminding everybody to smash the like button, support the sponsors. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ty in the Bronx in there. I bet after that leak, the Heat said, ain't that something? Yeah, they did a Gnarls Barkley. They went, ain't that some shit? True Fin Fan says, that's the problem. I stopped allowing anyone to play with my emotions, especially when it comes to sports or news. Yes. Yes. And you know what it is, True Fin Fan, is that's all they do. They want to constantly play with your emotions. That's all they freaking want to do. Play off of them. Every single feed off of them. Like a cancer, bro. No, that's exactly what they want to do. And that's why I showed the poly market stuff, because it's all a rig. You know what I'm saying? All right. What else do we have going on? World Cup final. Spain and Argentina draws 66.4 million people here in the United States. They averaged 42.5 during the broadcast. Telemundo averaged 23.9. This was the biggest non-Super Bowl sporting event since the 94 Winter Olympics. By the way, the USA lost to Belgium, got to 50.1 million. And the final was at 60, what did I say? 66.4. Think about this. If the US ever become elite, the ratings will go through the roof. Now, I don't know if we'll ever get to Super Bowl numbers, but it's going to be pretty super. Pretty damn super for that to happen. But the ratings were pretty cool. I would love for us to one day cross that threshold, dude. Just one day cross that threshold and become great again at this. That would be absolutely phenomenal if we're able to do that. ESPN, more firings yesterday. Again, it's funny because I saw yesterday somebody on X put a picture of a classic ESPN lineup, and I was like, wow, when ESPN actually mattered. You know, that's kind of the way I looked at it. It was, to me, that's what it was all about when it actually mattered. Let me see if I can pull up that that picture. And it was a classic lineup with Berman and all those people back in the day. And it just kind of brings back the memories of it. And as I've told you guys, I didn't watch 1 minute of ESPN yesterday or maybe even the day before. Here it is. I got it. Let me get rid of this billboard for a second, and let me bring this up. There we go. Now that's a lineup, right? So I put when ESPN mattered. Because that's when I used to watch ESPN. That and before that, actually. Because obviously I was watching ESPN even before some of the people there, even before Stuart Scott was part of ESPN and some other ones there. So, yeah, I was watching ESPN for a long time. But to me, that's when ESPN mattered, actually. Nowadays, unfortunately, I saw the news with Ravitch getting released, Cam Newton. Like, I wouldn't watch Cam. I don't think I've watched one Cam Newton segment. I've run into on X or Twitter or whatever, like some kind of highlight or low light, maybe is what you would call it with Cam, where he would say some stupid something or whatever. But that's about it. I would never, not one time did I ever watch it on ESPN. Not at all. David Lloyd, who's a pros pro, Stefania Bell, Tom Pelissero, who does excellent work, Charles Davis, a friend of the program, really good dude, Bart Scott, Andreas Hale, and obviously they got to pay McAfee and Screaming Ace so much money that they've got to cut in other places, and that's exactly what they're doing. So you'll get more of McAfee and more of Screamin' A, which I'm sure that's what you want, right? More of the same, because, that channel is such a fantastic channel nowadays. And that's my problem, is I kind of like, I know it's a story and I'll talk about it, but it really doesn't matter much to me anymore. I feel bad for people losing their jobs. That I feel terrible about. But I don't watch ESPN, dude. It just does not matter to me at all. I'll turn on, maybe on a Sunday to hear Schefter's last minute injury take or something. Yeah, I'll watch that for a moment. But all the other gibberish that they're talking about, I really have no interest in it. because it's to a point now where it's no longer, it used to be about sports. Now it's about what can we do to create more of a show? Let's argue about these stupid subjects, and let's play on people's emotions because let's talk about this or that or whatever. And it's not the same anymore. It just isn't. And now that you have the NFL and ESPN sleeping together, it just gets even more polluted and more twisted and more corrupt overall, to be quite honest. So that's where I don't lose any sleep on ESPN decisions because I barely watch the program. I watch sporting events. That's it. And if anything, I'll watch the local broadcast or something. And if I run into something national, it has to be a moment where there's a highlight going on. If there's no highlight going on, I'm probably just going to continue moving on. There's no reason for me to stay there. Dan Patrick, Stuart Scott, Keith Olbermann, Chris Berman, so many others. That channel was the only channel I watched. Yeah, back in those days. Yep, that's it. That's when ESPN was freaking ESPN. It was all about real sports, reporting, and quality content. Now it's all about stupid debates, circus shows. No bueno. That's right. That's right. Nothing like the Sports Center of the 90s, and ESPN at the time was great. I agree. They should have cut Malika Andrews and Mina Kimes, both insufferable to listen to. The 90s were the golden age of ESPN, just like NPR, while listening to Bob Edwards in the morning while I went to school and work. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. A little early 2000s, too. I think it was pretty good. But, yeah, it's been bad for a while. And now it's, I mean, really, the last 10, 15 years, it's really gone to shit. It's unwatchable. Overall, 95% of ESPN is unwatchable. And that's my problem with ESPN, that most of the shit that's on, I don't want to watch. Most of the stuff they're talking about, I don't want to hear about it. And then the stupid, silly debates that they want to come up with just to stir crap up. It's, yeah, not the same. So I understand that it's news and people are talking about it and all that kind of stuff. But for me personally, it just doesn't register much because I feel terrible about people losing their jobs. You know, I really do. I think the Tom Pelissero one, he does an excellent job, dude. I would hope that somebody would hire that guy right away, The Athletic or somebody that wants a really good insider. Pelissero does an excellent job. You know, but he's like a real nuts and bolts football guy overall. I know he has to play the politics like all these national insiders, but he still does a good job overall, you know. Respect what he does. I respect what all of them do, but I'm saying the way I want my ESPN, I'm just kind of down to I just want nuts and bolts. I don't want all that bullshit fluff, and Pelissero is not part of any of that usually. So that's why sucks to hear stuff like that. Nyborg thinks ESPN is unwatchable. Yeah, a lot of us do, man. Definitely. All right. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Mrs. Messi has a message for everyone out there. And I got to say, I understand where Mrs. Messi is coming from. I guess she has to do this, but I would disagree considering the way that Argentina acted throughout the tournament, how much they got, how many breaks they got throughout the tournament. Clearly, FIFA was pulling for them. Jesus Christ, that celebration with light blue whatever those things are called, firing up in the air, the fireworks. It's disgusting. But she put out that she praised how they will fight to the end and made it clear that she was proud of the way things ended. You will always be the best. The caption on her Instagram post said, not only because of your talent, but because you have never stopped being yourself. You mean dirty? Okay. No matter what happens, you never give up. You always fight until the very end, even if it's a whole bunch of dirty shots. Okay, Mrs. Messi. And you give everything you have until the last second. That strength, that mindset, and your ability to get back up time and time again are what make you unique. She added, thank you for teaching us every day that true success is built through hard work, sacrifice, perseverance, and never losing your essence. You are the best example for our children. Yeah, boy, that Argentine national team and the coaches who also punch people, they're such a great example, aren't they? Paredes, that guy, that scumbag, yeah, that guy, great example for the kids. Yep, definitely. Best example for the children. Yeah, and an inspiration to millions of people. We inspire all of you to be a bunch of dirty assholes on the pitch, just like the Argentine national team. Be sore losers like the Argentine national team. When you get dominated, act like little bitches. Be like Messi, her husband. Lie about what an opponent is saying to try to get him thrown out. Do all those kind of things because, the superstar needs as much help as possible. Lord knows, Jorge Mas is giving him so much to win an MLS Cup. Hell, he couldn't even beat the worst team in the playoffs 2 years ago. You got to help little Messi out as much as possible. FIFA, Mas brothers, they're bringing him another international player. And this MLS is such a joke. It's so easy. Anyway, I admire you more than words can express, she says, and I'm incredibly proud to walk through life by your side. I love you so much. What an example for the children. Fantastic example. The Argentine national team. Yeah, dude, that's the kind of example you want to set for your children. No doubt about that, dude. If you're looking to set an example for the children, please play all the lowlights of the Argentine national team throughout the World Cup. Teach your children how to play. Makes a lot of sense. Just saying. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. SpaceX now down 0.5 point. Let's go. Tank, SpaceX. Tank, bitch. Take advantage of it. Not wishing anything bad on people. I think that's what's going to end up happening. So, I'm waiting to catch the falling knife. But right now, it's going to keep falling. So I'm not in a hurry of catching that falling knife right now. I can wait a little while to catch the falling knife. Let's see. Keep it coming about Argentine makes my day. In the words of the late great Bernie Mac, suck this when it comes to those Argentines. Well, listen, for me personally, since I'm a Spain guy, I enjoyed every moment of all of that. And the fact that Spain dominated them to the point that they got them so frustrated that they had to get so dirty, that I thought that was fantastic. Because Spain, I mean, broke Argentina. Absolutely broke Argentina in half. They left Argentina completely just without any answers. They knew they did not belong on the same pitch with Spain. That's how bad it was. They got to the finals only to be embarrassed thoroughly. And that's what was frustrating for them, that they could not do whatever they wanted because Spain did not let them. And that in itself, and because they're so feeble-minded, because that's bunch of knuckleheads, clearly, they had to do the dirty shit. And to me, that was absolutely beautiful, that you embarrassed Argentina and you embarrassed them to the point that they went out of their way to act like complete assholes. Or maybe you exposed who they really are. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. But hey, man, that's you guys out there in Argentina. You got to live with it. You're the embarrassment. Your team is an embarrassment. They're a disgrace. That's all. But hey, listen, if you want to feel like Mrs. Messi, you go ahead, bro. Ignorance is everywhere. I see it all the time. I'm watching it right now in the markets. I'm watching ignorance in the stock market like crazy. But hey, it is what it is, because they're not really looking at what environment we're really in. But eventually that'll catch up, and we're going to see a lot of red in the stock market coming up. But it is what it is. I see ignorance everywhere. And there you go. If you want to feel ignorant, go for it, dude. That's all right. I see ignorance everywhere. Like buying 20 billion of pesos. That's some ignorant shit right there. All right, folks, let's do a little music. Why don't we do that? Let's do musicians and entertainers and anybody else born on July 22nd, and we will get that one straight today. Here we go. Born on July 22nd, Selena Gomez, the singer and actress. Let's see who else. Daniel Jones, musician, songwriter with Savage Garden, born in 1973. It is Pat Badger, bassist with Extreme, born in 67. William Calhoun, drummer with Living Color, born in 64. Emily Sailors, from the Grammy Award-winning folk rock group The Indigo Girls, born in 63. It is Keith Sweat, American R&B soul singer, songwriter, record producer, radio personality, and innovator of the New Jack Swing. Keith Sweat. How about that? I had no idea that Keith Sweat was the innovator of New Jack Swing. Guy is my favorite band of the New Jack Swing era, for sure. And that song that they have in God, what's the Carter and all that? Damn, what's the name of that movie? With Nino Brown and all that. New Jack City. The song when Guy is on stage. I think the song is called Guy. I think. And Snipes is dancing. And then he's talking with G Money, and he's talking about Lakeisha, whatever, the fine girl that has the haircut and all that, and the thighs. That song is awesome. That is a great song by Guy. It's a fantastic song. I love that song. I love that scene and everything, but the song is fantastic. Brian Howe, best known for replacing Paul Rogers as lead vocalist on Bad Company, born in 1953. Don Henley, singer, songwriter, drummer with the Eagles, and of course, solo stuff, born in 47. The great Rick Davies, best known as founder, vocalist, keyboardist of Supertramp, born in 44. Estelle Bennett from the Ronettes, born in 44. Bobby Sherman, singer, actor, and teen idol in the late 60s, born in 43. The great George Clinton, singer, band leader, record producer, and of course, founding member of the Funkadelic, and also was Sly and the Stone, too. Let's see who else. And that is it for musicians. Now we move over to other famous people born on the 22nd. Remember, if I don't give you an age, that means, unfortunately, they have passed away, which that does happen sometimes. Artist Alexander Calder, born in 1898. Senator Bob Dole, born in 1923. Fashion designer Oscar de la Renta, born in 1932. TV personality Alex Trebek, born in 1940. Actor Danny Glover, born in 46. He is 80, still with us. Comedian actor Albert Brooks, born in 47. He's 79. Writer S.E. Hinton, born in 48. He's 78. Actor William Dafoe, born in 55. He's 71. By the way, I did not realize that Keith Sweat was 65 years old already. Really. Time flies. Comedian actor John Leguizamo, born in 64. He's 62. Comedian actor David Spade, born in 64. He's 62. WWE Hall of Fame member Shawn Michaels, born in 65. He's 61. Actor Rhines Ifans, born in 67. He's 59. Actor Colin Ferguson, born in 72. He's 54. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness, born in 72. He's 54. Musician Rufus Wainwright, born in 73. He's 53. Actor A.J. Cook, born in 78, 48. Actor Javon Walton, born in 2006, 20. And Britain's Prince George of Cambridge, born in 2013. He's 13. The fact that he's 13, I can guarantee you that he's at least the only one in the royal family that wasn't on the Epstein Island. I can't guarantee you any of the other older ones, but this one, yeah, he was probably too young. So there you go. Everybody else, I don't know. Maybe the Queen visited. No idea. No idea. But that is folks born on July 22nd. Now we move over to what happened today in music history. We start off in 77. Leif Garrett released his self-titled debut album, and it features the covers of songs by the Beach Boys, Chuck Berry, and more. In 82, Dexy's Midnight Runners released their second studio album, To Rye, eh? And it features Come On Eileen. In 89, a really annoying freaking song. Former actress Martika, I think she's from Miami, started a 2-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles charts with Toy Soldiers. Anyway, in 2003, Jane's Addiction released her third studio album, Strays, and it features Just Because. In 2008, Dr. Dog released his fifth studio album, Fate, and it features The Breeze. And let me see if there's any other birthdays that we did not mention. Saxophonist Junior Cook was born today in 34. R&B singer Chuck Jackson, born today in 37. Jazz fusion guitarist Al Di Meola is 72 today. Al Di Meola was not on that other list. Come on, man. How do you leave Al out? That's it. That's what happened today in music history. All right. And don't forget to visit our friends at Toyota of Hollywood, where you can get a 2026 Corolla LE for $199 a month for 36 months. The Camry LE, $269 a month for 36 months. The Toyota Tacoma SR5, $279 a month for 36 months. The Corolla Cross, $279 a month for 36 months. The RAV4, $299 a month for 36 months. And the 4Runner, awesome vehicle, $369 a month for 36 months. Get on down there. Go see my guy, Herbie Lopez. He'll take care of you. And by the way, if you are, want to stay away from the gas stations, you can get the BZ EV. You can get the BZ XLE. So you've got both options there. One has 314 miles of range. The other one has 288, depending if you want 221 horsepower or 335 horsepower. One is all-wheel drive. The other one is front-wheel drive. So the front-wheel drive one will get you 314 miles. The all-wheel drive one will get you 288 miles. Remember, there are 25,000 charging stations now all across the country. So there's a charging station near you. Plus, Toyota of Hollywood's going to give you your personal charger that you can use at home. You can take it with you anywhere. You go to the in-laws, you can charge. You go somewhere else, you always have it with you, and you can charge it wherever you can connect it to an electrical outlet. It's not a big deal. Check it out. Go visit our friends at 1841 North State Road 7, right on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, and tell the one and only Herbie Lopez that Big O sent you. They'll take care of you there at Craig's Inns. Well, at Toyota of Hollywood from Mr. Zinn, of course. Did I mention happy birthday to Disney legend Alan Menken? I did not. Rosendo, I don't know because it wasn't on that list. So the composer Alan Menken, happy birthday to him. Thank you, Rosendo. You always have one or two there that I certainly never have on the list somehow or another. He puts Emma Lazarus, Rose Fitzgerald, Kennedy, Sonny Liston, and Selena Gomez. It didn't have Sonny Liston. Wow. It had Selena. So Brett says talking heads on most shows, including sports shows, are simply annoying to me. Yeah, because they're just doing shit to get under your craw. That's all. And what I hate is that people are just taking sides to take sides, and they may not even believe in the stupid argument that they're putting up, which these are the things that I don't understand. That's why I just would rather do the show the right way. Why does there have to be shtick? Why can't you just be honest? What you think, what you see, what you hear, that's it. Why let me be pro fan so I don't piss anybody off, or let me be the anti establishment person that I'm going to go against everything to be contrarian just to stir it up, or be Mr. Hater just to stir it up. That's what we have all over radio or television or whatever. Let me play a role. They're really not being themselves. They're playing a role. And just not a fan of that. I'd rather just let it go. Say what it is and move on. And it might be positive, it might be negative, but at least it's honest. And that, to me, that's what matters the most. At least that's the way I look at it. And some people will appreciate it, and some, of course, will not. They'll probably hate it, but I'm sorry. By the way, Netflix now is getting their broadcast ready on the NFL side. And nothing against any of the broadcasters for Netflix or anything specifically in that sense. It says Noah Eagle will be the play-by-play voice for the streamer's broadcast for the Niners-Rams game in Melbourne on September 10th, the NFL's first regular season game in Australia. Ryan Glasspiegel notes that no color commentator has been named yet, and NBC will produce the broadcast, taking over from CBS, which handled Netflix's NFL games in the past seasons. This isn't the first time the league's Week 1 international opener has gone to a streamer looking to make a statement with its NFL coverage. But what I want to just, and they go on to talk a little bit more about some of the other stuff that Netflix is doing. I just got to tell you that as a sports fan, man, there is nothing more annoying now than having to figure out where a game is on what app. We used to have to get up to go to 4, 6, 7, and 10. Just, and then we got remotes, and then we got these cable boxes and all that kind of stuff. And then we got satellites, and we used to have to move it from a C dish to an F dish to a T dish or whatever, T1, F24, C10, whatever it was, whatever channel you were on, whatever part of the satellite. Remember that? And now we've got apps. And it's annoying because we have to pay for all of them. And they're doing a great job of screwing the consumer because they force you to have Peacock, to have Netflix, to have Amazon, and it's just, oh no, I got to watch that over here and this one over here and that one over here. And before you know it, you're spending a world of money on all these services. It's really annoying, dude. And I hate being the old guy that says, man, I miss my old days. Wow, do I miss the old days. I miss my old ESPN. I miss my old, what is it, on 4 or 6? Oh, it's on 7. Okay, great, let's go. Fox or CBS? There wasn't a lot of thinking going on. It was either this button or that button, and that's it, or this channel or that channel. That's it. And then on Monday night, it was on one channel, 10. That's it. And I got Howard and the boys, and it was all beautiful. And they have just complicated this crap, and on top of complicated everything, now you've also got to pay through the nose. No better time than having a C-band dish back in the very early 80s. I'm talking about very early 80s. Like, I'm talking about like 80, 81, 82. And I would not only see the games, but I wouldn't see the commercial breaks. I would watch the broadcasters get their hair done, touch up their makeup. They're eating something, drinking something, saying all kinds of bad words or something, and then they'd come back from the break. I don't know if anybody's old enough and you had a C-band dish back in the very early 80s to maybe even late 70s. My dad was a huge gambler. And one of the things that he got a C-band dish very early on. And so I was very blessed because I was able to watch not just the local games. I had my own red zone channel in a way where I could just go and watch all kinds of different games and all kinds of different stuff. And whether it was basketball or he hated basketball, but I could watch basketball because I had the dish and I could go watch the doc or whoever and all that kind of stuff. So it was really, really cool back in those days. And you would get the live feed The feed that was just going to the broadcast itself wasn't part of the TV broadcast. They would throw it to the TV broadcast and they would go to the national commercials. You would actually stay right there and then with them. It was actually really cool back in the day. But I just kind of remember all those kind of things that I lived through and experienced, and then where we're at now. And it is an absolute ripoff, dude. That's all they're doing is ripping us off constantly, because we've got to have all these damn apps in order to watch the games. What a rig, dude. Anyway, Big O, what are you saying is it's all forms and no substance, like most things have gone these days, sadly? Yes, it is. Yes, definitely. Most everything is not even honest. It's just BS constantly. It's crap. By the way, tomorrow, if you got some time, come on by at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Join us for an exclusive evening celebrating the launch of the all-new 2026 Subaru Outback, the new Subaru EVs, the Uncharted and the Trail Seeker. And it starts tomorrow on the 23rd at 6 o'clock at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. You can enjoy test drives, so you can check out the vehicles. They are awesome. I am dying to get a Trail Seeker. Refreshments, giveaways, exclusive first look at the all-new Outback and the Subaru newest EVs out there. And by the way, I can tell you a little bit about the Subaru EVs. The Uncharted has 336 horsepower, has over 300-mile range. It's beautiful, dude. The Trail Seeker has 375 horsepower, 280-mile range. And by the way, all the Subaru batteries go from 10 to 80% in 28 minutes. That's nothing. The Solterra, it's got a range of 288 miles. So you can get the Solterra, the Trail Seeker, and the Uncharted. All three of them. Go see my guy Alan out there. He's a general manager. Eric Stampone will take care of you. He's awesome as always. We always hang out with Eric when we're out there. So check it out there at Subaru of Pembroke Pines at 16100 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 and Pines. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's see what else. My folks canceled Netflix. They're going all in on YouTube TV. Okay, but it doesn't have everything. You know what I mean? That's the weird part about YouTube TV. It doesn't have. Nobody has them all nowadays. They're forcing you to get all kinds of what's it called? All kinds of platforms. And that's kind of insane, too, at the same time. It's unfair. You know what I'm saying? So kind of weird, but abusive is the word that I would use with that. All right, give me a couple of seconds here.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Oh, yes, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Steve Calabro. How you doing,
Big
baby?
O. Big O, how are you? Good morning, Big O.
Good morning, sir.
So, I wanted to talk to you. You probably have talked forever about the World Cup.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, it's proving time in and time out, if you're going to win championships, whether you're in the Major League Baseball, if you're in the NFL for certain, if you're in the World Cup soccer tournament, if you're in a lot of sports, hockey, the Stanley Cup, if you got a good defense, you got a good shot. And Spain's defense, wow, they're good. I think Argentina's still a great team. Messi's still a great player. But Spain's team is young, fast, and they're really defensive-minded.
One goal in the entire tournament. The entire tournament, one goal.
Yeah, I mean, that was amazing. It's that what I saw, and I only saw, the final game. I didn't watch any other Spain games, but it wasn't like Spain was playing a crappy team. Argentina had also gotten to the final. They're pretty good too. And so it leads us to the NFL. I mean, if you're building a team, you really got to make, obviously a quarterback's important, and you got to have a running game, and you got to have an offensive line. But I think above those three, I think you got to have a defense. I think if you rank them, it would be defense, quarterback, offensive line, running back.
No.
And then receiver.
No.
Where you got? What's your rank?
Defense, offensive line.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that. I wouldn't debate you on that one. That one, defense, O-line, right?
Peyton Manning couldn't throw for 10 yards, and they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I stand corrected. So defense, O-line. What's number 3?
Trent Dilfer ain't shit. Nick Foles ain't shit.
Nah, Nick Foles was pretty good shit. He wasn't that bad. He wasn't Trent Dilfer.
He ain't shit. He had a moment. He made a couple of passes, but he proved that he was never that ever again.
But he was a little more shit than Trent Dilfer.
But again, my point is,
I get it.
All the other quarterbacks that pretty much have made the Super Bowls are like real quarterbacks, really good players. These guys are nothing. They're just Jags. Hey, listen, while he can run, I got to tell you something. I don't think Jalen Hurts ain't shit either, dude. I think he's a mediocre passer as it is. I just think he's a freak athlete, and he can run, and he's really tough because he can, squat 600 pounds so they can, squeeze his ass inside that tush push thing. But that as a passer, he's nothing, dude. You know what I mean? And why? They had a massive offensive line that controlled everything. So for me, it's defense, it's offensive line, and then it's the quarterback, because it's been proven you can win with the lesser quarterback if you dominate the lines.
Well, so that being said, I stand corrected. Defense, O-line, who's 3, 4, and 5? And I got it at QB, running back, and receivers.
No, I'm with you and everything else. I just switched the O-line and the QB.
Yeah. All right, cool.
5 guys make not just the quarterback, but it makes the receivers, the tight ends, the running backs. Everybody can do their job when those 5 guys are kicking ass. For Christ's sake, Bob Greasy had 7 passes in a Super Bowl. 7 passes in a Super Bowl. Basically, they stood there and said, we're running the ball on you guys, and you're not doing anything about it. I mean, if that's not offensive line work, I don't know what is. You know what I'm saying? It's like Lombardi. He says, we're going to run this play through this lane and through this lane, no matter what's going. And that's because he had the just like Shula. If you execute it, there's no reason they should stop it. And that's kind of what they look at it.
You remember the other team that doesn't get mentioned sometime was John Riggins and the Washington Redskins. They had 2 plays. It was worse than that, Big O. They were not only a running team, they ran 2 plays more than 50% of the time. That was like, you talk about a playbook.
My brother, Doug Williams, Mark Rippon, and Joe Theismann can buy tickets to the Hall of Fame. They'll never be in it. You know what I'm saying? And why is that? Because Joe Gibbs is the greatest coach of all time. And I know I'm not supposed to say that here, but he's the greatest coach of all time because he figured out on top of everybody else, he said, no, I can make the quarterback interchangeable. You got to win with the lines. And he won with his defense and Dexter Manley and those kind of guys. And then he won with those hogs up front. And he didn't need a great quarterback. He's the guy that figured that shit out before everybody else. And he made the quarterback we all talk about, you got to have a quarterback. And Joe Gibbs was like, no, quarterback's interchangeable.
Well,
and by the way, Howie Roseman has followed up on Joe Gibbs.
Yes,
He has made the quarterback and the head coach interchangeable. Because if I told you, here's Doug Peterson or Nick Sirianni, you're going to go, whatever. You're not going to be excited about either guy. Just like you're not going to be excited about Jalen Hurts or Nick Foles. But if I tell you Howie Roseman's running your team, all of a sudden you're going to get excited. You know what I'm saying? And that's why my theme has been all off season is telling everybody, forget about the quarterback, forget about anything. If Sully is not the guy, we're not going anywhere. Because Shula, once he lost Young, Thomas, and Beathard in his front office, he was never the same again from the early 80s all the way to the end of the mid-90s. He was horrible in personnel. Whereas in the 70s, right up to the first 2 years of the 80s, he didn't have to worry about personnel because he had the right people in place. And Bobby Beathard went on to have success somewhere else. Young won 2 Super Bowls building the Giants for Parcells. And Thomas was, obviously he was already done at the back end, but still he did his work with the Dolphins. So to me, it's all about John Eric Sullivan. If John Eric Sullivan is not the man, none of this means anything.
So I'm going to follow up on that with a little bit of a diversionary comment. So you did touch on 2 points I want to just mention. I don't know if you know, but Joe Theismann, not Theismann, Joe Theismann is from New Jersey. He's from New Jersey. But he became Theismann when Notre Dame was trying to advertise Theismann for the Heisman. His name was Joe Theismann from the South River Rams. I think it was their high school football team. We played against them. But in our high school, played against them in all sports. So he touched on I don't know if you know I'm from Jersey, and Theismann is, you touched on a nice Jersey thing there. Now, you also touched on something else very nice, Jersey. Little known, maybe you know this, little known fact, Howie Roseman is from Middletown, New Jersey, just about a half hour north of where I have a little house in New Jersey, maybe 40 minutes north.
I don't know who that guy are you talking about Howie Roseman or because I don't know who that Rothman guy is. I don't know who
Roseman. It was my Jersey accent kind of messing up there.
I thought you were talking about like your neighbor or something. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, he's a good guy. He's a hell of a fan. But so Roseman has also got I have a little bit of connection to Roseman. So one is he's from Jersey, and two is he's a University of Florida grad. And I know you're UM, and I certainly want UM to do well, especially this year. But I have a place in my heart for University of Florida. You understand the story there. They kind of have done good by me. But so he's a Florida UF guy and a Jersey guy. Just tells you that there's a lot of talent in New Jersey. A lot of talent in New Jersey comes out of it. And now I want to touch base. I was this morning. I was at I bumped into a buddy of mine. We were having a cup of coffee, and he's an Eagle fan. And it was so weird. He sort of like said the same thing you said about Jalen Hurts. Like the Eagle fans, like they are just lukewarm on Jalen Hurts. They are, and I agree with you, and I agree with them. Like I guess he's just not that good. He's just not that good of a passer. The tush push is good. He had some good passes in the Super Bowl. He did have a handful, 5 or 6 passes that were exceptional, but the fans of I almost feel I don't want to say this because it sounds a little bit patronizing, but I feel bad for the guy in a little way. He wins the Super Bowl. He does really well in the Super Bowl. That's what all these NFL players are striving for. I think he was the MVP, and the fans still like, he's all right. He's all right. You know, he's like, yeah, he's not like it's a sin. Like now you.
By the way, wasn't Timmy Smith an MVP in a Super Bowl for 200 yards? Did Larry Brown with the 3 interceptions win the MVP or something? You know what I mean? It happens.
But wait a second. But I'm going to make a comparison. Last night, I'm with some friends, and they're Atlanta Falcon fans. And what was the quarterback that had the colossal breakdown in the Super Bowl? Not the quarterback, Quinn's quarterback.
Is the one
Ryan, Matt Ryan, right? Yeah. Who also is from New Jersey, I may add. He's from New Jersey.
I don't blame Matt Ryan. I blame Shanahan. He kept calling pass plays instead of calling run plays. Matt Ryan was only doing what the coach told him to do. I mean,
but Big O, here's the thing. So watch this. Last night we're talking about Matt Ryan, and there's these Atlanta fans, and they're like, "Oh, he's God in Atlanta. Oh, he's like everybody loves Matt Ryan. He's the greatest guy in the world, and we go to all his charity events, and he's the greatest guy." And then somebody is a Miami guy is at the table. We're at a table having dinner. Oh yeah, Dan Marino. He's the greatest guy in the world. He's the greatest quarterback ever. Unbelievable. Now, let's just talk about facts. Matt Ryan, good quarterback, very good quarterback. Dan Marino, very good quarterback. Both didn't win the Super Bowl. And now it's 20 years or 10 and 25 years later after their career, and they're revered by their community as the greatest quarterbacks in the world. Jalen Hurts is a current athlete. He's won the Super Bowl, and the fans are like, Like, think about the contrast. You know, like once fans get a perception of somebody that he's the greatest, or he's not that good. It's weird to me. It's a weird thing to me.
Well, because Jalen Hurts had plenty of help to get to the Super Bowl, whereas Marino never had any help on defense or the running game. He never had those factors were never a force while he was there. Whereas Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley was the hottest running back that year, and that defense was absolutely freaking dominant, and so was that offensive line. And these are things that Marino never, ever possessed, a dominant offensive line. And Matt Ryan was a damn good quarterback for Atlanta. And the one chance that they had at a title, that the head coach screwed up because he continued to call pass plays instead of a run play with 24 minutes left. And you've got a pretty damn good running back. Dude, call run plays. Use the clock up. Make sure they waste their timeouts. I mean, play the smart game. And he kept passing and stopping the clock and kept giving Brady a chance to come back. That's just, stupid coaching. It's kind of like the Pete Carroll thing. Like, you can blame Russell Wilson, but what are you going to do? It's the play that was called. And, it's Marino would have passed it also. He wouldn't have turned around and given it to the running game. It was pro pass anyways himself. And, it's just sometimes it's just the quarterback is put in a really difficult position. And in that moment, obviously, they were put in an impossible position. And for Marino never had a chance. Never.
Defensively, yeah.
It's like the other day on Twitter, it was like some guy put up this thing about, on this date back in 1985 or 84 or 86, whatever the hell it was, Dan Marino threw for 478 yards, 5 touchdowns in a 38-35 win. And I'm like, look, check it out. I retweeted it. I go, look at the stats, and the guy won by 3 points. That's all you need to know about Marino's career. He had a game that any other normal quarterback would have gone, okay, can I retire right now because I don't need to do anything more after this game? And he did that all the time. All the time. There was games where it was 42-40, and it was Richard Todd playing his equal. And you're like, bro, Richard Todd can't sniff his jock. But then again, if you got Bud Brown and, Paul Langford in the backfield, I mean, anybody is going to be able to pass on those guys. You know what I'm saying? And so it was very frustrating to watch somebody kill themselves to barely win a game because the defense was so pathetic that you had to outlast them constantly.
Well, look back to what I said at the start of the show. Defenses win championships. But now I'm going to move on to
and it also helps to have an offensive line that you can push somebody around and burn the clock out. You know what I'm saying?
Let somebody run and let somebody throw a pass. Let's talk about the current Dolphins, and then we'll kind of wrap it up with the Dolphins. I mean, these rookies. I don't know. I tell you, I'm a little excited. I'm excited. No, Malik's not a rookie, but he's new to the team, obviously, and he's to me an unproven couple-year guy. So he's damn near close to a rookie. A little better than that, though. I like the Proctor guy. Proctor's a first, day one starter. Chris Johnson, I think he's going to be a day one starter. I also like two other guys that I like a lot. This Rodriguez guy from Texas Tech. I think he could be a hell of a linebacker. And of course, I'm going to end it with, I'm completely anybody that's ever heard me on your show says this guy must be in love with tight ends, but I like the Kazmarek, and I like the combination of Kazmarek with the veteran other tight end.
Dolchich.
Yeah, Dolphins. So that's a good combination. I see them. You want to run the ball with an option to throw a short pass over the middle. You put both of those tight ends on the line. You got a hell of an offensive line. Those two tight ends are helping that O-line and making that O-line a little better. I mean, it's not a great O-line, but it's making it a little better. So I'm excited about those four guys: Proctor, Johnson, Rodriguez, and Kaz. Did he say it? Kazmarek? Kazmarek.
Yeah.
Kazmarek.
I love him as a blocker. I think the Kazmarek signing was awesome. The line has a lot of potential, obviously, but we've got to see, Proctor get comfortable at guard. We've got to see Savanaya get comfortable at his usual normal right guard position. And if Austin Jackson can stay healthy, then all of a sudden things will get interesting, because if you have an offensive line, bringing the conversation full circle, it'll make Malik Willis's job that much easier if he actually has time to pass and if Devon Achane has some space to run. You know what I'm saying? So those five offensive linemen are such a key to finding out if you have an offense. And by the way, figure out if Malik Willis can play, because if the guys up front can't block, we'll never figure out if Malik Willis is the guy.
We'll never know. Yeah, we'll never know. That being said, Big O, I mean, look, I want to remind your viewers that once again, it's July in Hialeah Park. The poker room's alive and well. The action's unbelievable. We've got Vicky's Bakery downstairs in the slot floor. We're giving away $250,000, celebrating 250 great years of this great country. $25,000 every Friday and Saturday, starting with running it all the way through every Friday and Saturday in January. And then we threw an extra one in there because we wanted to round it up to 10. Actually, August 1st is also in there too. As we had to put August 1st in there to make it 250,000. So every Friday and Saturday, whether it's this Friday and Saturday or to the next Friday and Saturday, $25,000 cash, giving it away. So. Come on out. And by the way, we want to tell your listeners that we'll be going on a regular basis. I believe we're going to stick with Tuesday afternoon. So we can go to Tuesday afternoon, and it's starting with I got to figure out
Are we going to do it? You want to do it in the Flamingo Lounge, so we're not in the way of everybody in the second floor, or what are we doing?
I think we're gonna move to Flamingo Lounge will be a better setup. And by the way, this way, when you walk into the first floor casino, you can walk by the car that we're giving away, and you can get a nice feel for. We're giving away two nice ones in August and September. Remember, I told you this last time I talked to you. I mean, you just can't really lose with a Mercedes or a Corvette. You know what I mean? When one month's a Corvette, 1 month is Mercedes. And so not bad. I think I'd lean towards, if I wanted to be cool, I'd want to win the Corvette. If I wanted to have a nice car, I'd go with a comfortable luxury feel. I'd go with the Mercedes.
I clearly would. I had a Vet years ago, but I'm too old for it now.
Me too.
Getting in and out of that thing. Now I would love to drive it because it's so fun to drive. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, at our age, yeah, I'm probably getting in and out of the Mercedes a lot. In fact, it's not even so much Mercedes or anything. I'm almost at a point now where I really want to get into an SUV instead of a car nowadays. I'm almost like that now because in and out of an SUV is a lot easier than in and out of a car or in and out of a Corvette. Holy crap.
Big O. We'll end it with your listeners knowing that, and I'm sure some of your listeners can share the same sentiment. We're in a Corvette. If we're in a Corvette, we got to ask if our wife's in the passenger. We got to say, "Hey, honey, can you get out and get on the other side and grab? I can grab your hand to get the hell out of this car."
I can already see it. This hand is on the baseboard of the door thing on the floor, and then I'm handing my arm out so they can lift me up out of the damn.
Well, if nobody's around, you might have to roll out.
Yeah.
It's rough,
roll out. Yeah.
But a hell of a cool car to give away. And like I said, we're giving $25,000 this Friday, this Saturday, next Friday, next Saturday, August and September, a Mercedes and a Corvette. And maybe we'll just go have some fun. When that Corvette arrives, Big O, I want to just have a picture of you in there and a picture of me in there, and we won't say anything about the getting in and the getting out. No videos of getting in and getting out allowed. There
you go. All right, so we'll be there the first Tuesday of the month.
Yes,
looking forward to it. And by the way, one more thing on the Dolphins. Signing Brooks yesterday was great because there is no controversies, no distractions or anything in their first year, first tenure, first week of training camp. No questions. You're starting off nice and fresh. I think that was really smart on their part. Start a season without any controversies or questions or anything like that. Good.
Let's keep our fingers crossed. It might be a little better than we thought.
Lord knows we deserve it, but at least we've got the Canes on one end to kind of make up for it. And the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers are going to have a hell of a season. And Giannis, at least with the Heat, it makes it entertaining. You know what I mean? The Heat at least are going to be somewhat entertaining. Something they haven't been the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So our winter teams are going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot better this year. We're headed for some good stuff.
Yeah, the Panthers could repeat. Yeah, they're good. They're real good.
They're going to be really
good.
All
right, man.
All right, Steve. Appreciate you as always, my brother. I appreciate you as always. Be good out there. All right,
take care.
Friend.
Bye now.
Got it.
Hi, this is Jeff, formerly of Welton Rayon, PA, a longtime sponsor of the Big O Show. Now that Dan retired, I opened Welton Associates. I started this firm with a simple belief. When you hire a lawyer, you should be able to talk to your lawyer. For nearly 30 years, I have helped Floridians through serious legal problems. At my firm, you get direct access to me, clear communication, and a lawyer who knows the details of your case. I believe technology should make legal representation easier, not more impersonal. At Welton Associates, you get direct access to me, clear answers, personal attention, and real advocacy. Look us up at weltlawfirm.com or give me a call at 954-966-4646. Consultations are always free, and let me know that you found me at the Big O Show.
All right, we are back, and we thank, of course, Steve Calabro. So we'll be there August 4th. Will be Tuesday, August 4th. So we'll be there every Tuesday throughout the football season and have some fun with Steve and talk a little sports. Appreciate you all out there. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. As for the markets, the Dow is up 168 points. Good. The S&P is up 10. The NASDAQ is barely up a point, and SpaceX is up a point. So there you go. That's what you got going on. All right, let's see. Stop watching the Mets. What a disgrace. Yeah, it's got to be tough to be a Mets fan. All that money they spent, and they just cannot get it right, dude. It's really nutty what goes on with the Mets. Yeah, it shows you that you need money. Obviously, you're going to need money to win, but you've got to have the right combination of people. I mean, Stephen Ross has all the money in the world, dude, but he can't find the right combination of people to run his organization the right way. And Steve Cohen has failed to do the same thing, just like Stephen Ross. Remember, we told you it's a Steve thing. If your owner is named Steve, it's not a good thing. And there's a good chance that he'll screw things up and he won't be a good owner. It's just kind of like that, man. You know? Yeah. So, sucks, but it's the truth. It actually is the truth. All right. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Did you see what's going on with the WNBA? We talked about this, right? That all of our faults as human beings, they're all exposed in the WNBA. Racism, hate, bias, jealousy, pettiness, just all these kind of vindictive acts. You want vindictive? Here you go. Caitlin Clark. The WNBA has the 3-point contest going on, coming up in the All-Star game. Do you think you'd want to showcase Caitlin Clark in that one? Yeah, I would think so, right? Well, Caitlin Clark told the WNBA to go screw themselves. She's not. She's going to rest instead. Which the WNBA needs all the help they can get. It reminds me of the early days of the NBA. And I'm not talking about the early days where the basket was like a real basket of fruit. Okay, no. I'm not talking about those days. I'm talking about when I was a kid in the late 70s and early 80s, the finals were on tape delay. The finals. And we got Magic and Bird, and their first finals were on tape delay. But then after, it went to live because Magic and Bird kind of lifted the entire league and all that kind of stuff, right? And on top of all of that, when you had your 3-point and dunk contests, the best of the best were playing in the 3-point contest and in the dunk. Why? Because they were growing the brand at that time. At that time, the brand was down. It had the cocaine. It had all kinds of problems. The NBA was not really attractive to the average American. Ratings were dog shit, all of that. Then Magic and Bird came, and they lifted college basketball and then the NBA to another level. And you added all the other guys that came with it, Olajuwon and Barkley and Magic and Michael and, everything that came off, and that really exploded the league. But they also did their part. Those great players took part in all those games. The All-Star games, all that stuff, there was like real effort being put in those games. And they were promoting and pushing their league, and it was exploding. Well, that's kind of what you feel like. That's what should be happening with the WNBA over the last couple of years. That since you got this injection with Caitlin Clark, you should be riding that wave. Instead, these women are fighting it. They're jealous. They're petty. They're racist. They're hateful, vindictive, all that stuff. And they're taking it out on each other, taking it out on Caitlin Clark. The league does a shit job of balancing all this stuff out and eliminating it. And look at what you have now. And so now you have more people taking shots at each other, more people bringing the game down instead of building it up. And I don't blame Caitlin Clark for telling the league, fuck you, bro. You don't do shit for me. You let these people beat up on me all the time and take cheap shots at me. You do nothing. I don't blame her. I don't blame her for feeling that way. That's your meal ticket. You should be milking it. And everybody else should be embracing it. That way, Paige Beckers can build on that and everybody else. And instead, this is what you have. Just everything has been handled wrong by everybody. What a minor league the WNBA is. That's what it is. A minor league. And the people running it are a joke. You should be having the greatest success and you are in a way, in spite of all of this, but it's still not to the point that you should have been taking advantage of. Shame, isn't it? Over $700 million spent in the Mets last in the division. It's awesome, isn't it? So let's see. The WNBA has got to be one of the worst run sports leagues in history. What a bunch of idiots. Sad thing is, they have a gold mine in CC, and they've done nothing but mishandle the entire situation. Yep. They're mishandling it to a point that it's going to end up like people are going to be turned off by everything. Caitlin Clark also, and the WNBA. That's how bad it is that you're going to end up spinning it. Instead of people embracing it, they're just going to be tired of it. And that's what's going to end up happening. All right, folks, we're out of here. We appreciate all of you out there. Thank you for those of you that made a donation. Thank you as always. If you hit the like button, thank you very much. Don't forget to visit our amazing sponsors, as always, because without the sponsors, we are nowhere. See you tomorrow. Same time. Same place. Same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.